Okay, so let's get right into it. There's this new electric SUV from Mahindra, and it's making some serious waves. Now, on the outside, it looks just like the super popular XUV 7.0, but trust me, it's hiding a totally different personality under the skin. I mean, you look at what it's supposed to be, an electric seven-seater for the family, and you think, wow, that's exactly what the Indian market needs, right? There's literally nothing else like it in the mass market space. But you know how it is. There's always a catch. So the big question is, does it actually deliver on that promise? All right, first things first. To really get a handle on this thing, we gotta figure out what it actually is. And maybe more importantly, what it's not. Because in this jam-packed EV market, that's a huge deal. Okay, so here's the key thing you need to know. This isn't just them taking a petrol car and stuffing a battery into it. No, this is built on a brand new dedicated electric platform called Inglo. That's a massive deal for how it's all put together and how it performs. But they've kept the familiar body of the XUV 700, which a lot of people already love. And this, right here, is its secret weapon. I mean, think about it. If you're out there shopping for an electric SUV with 7 seats, one that's not going to cost you a fortune, what are your options? The answer is pretty much just this one. It's basically creating its own little corner of the market, all for itself. Okay, let's hop inside. Because yeah, it's a family hauler, but Mahindra really seems to be aiming for something a little more upscale. They want this to feel less like a people mover and more like a premium lounge. And you can really feel that focus on quality. We're talking soft touch materials on the dash and doors, places where you might normally find hard, scratchy plastic. Even the steering wheel gets this premium soft leather. It all just gives you this sense that they've bumped up the fit and finish from the already pretty good XUV 7.0. And then there's the tech. Wow, the cabin is just all about this massive triple screen setup. It's the real star of the show. You've got a screen for the driver, a big one for the infotainment, and get this, even the front passenger gets their own screen. It feels super modern, very tech-forward. Okay, but we all know that for every great feature, there's usually a trade-off, right? And this is where that big promise of a perfect electric seven-seater starts to bump up against the hard reality of, well, physics. So that main selling point, the whole reason you'd buy this thing, those 7 seats, is ironically where it faces its biggest problem. And that problem comes directly from the thing that makes it an EV in the first place. And here it is, the source of all the trouble. That huge battery pack has to go somewhere, and that somewhere is under the floor. Now this raises the entire floor of the car by about 3 inches. And you might be thinking, 3 inches, what's the big deal? Well, it has this huge ripple effect, especially for anyone who has to sit way in the back. And this quote just says it all. The reviewer, who's 5'10", basically said, "There is zero chance of me fitting in the third row." It's that blunt. That higher floor just completely kills the legroom and headroom. For an average adult, that third row is, well, it's not happening. So that's compromise number 1. Now for compromise number 2, the ride. You'd think they'd tune it for comfort. And they did, but maybe they went a little too far. And this is honestly kind of shocking. Instead of feeling solid and comfortable, the car actually feels a bit floaty. It wallows around even on smooth roads. The irony here is that by making the suspension too soft, they've made it a bit uncomfortable. It's the kind of ride that could actually make your passengers feel a little carsick. And that's really weird for Mahindra, because they are usually brilliant at tuning their suspension. But just when you're about to write this thing off as a flawed family car, it pulls back the curtain and reveals its big secret. And let me tell you, it is a very exciting secret. Okay, just take a look at these numbers for a second. We're talking 281 horsepower. That's not just way more than its petrol sibling. It's actually more powerful than a legendary performance car like the Skoda Octavia VRS. That is a frankly ridiculous amount of power for a family SUV. 7.9, that's how many seconds it takes to go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. And get this, that's with 2 people in the car. For a big, heavy SUV like this, that is seriously, seriously quick. And this quote says it all. Pulls like a train. It just perfectly describes that feeling you get in a powerful EV. That instant nonstop acceleration that just pushes you back in your seat. It's the kind of thing that will definitely catch you off guard. So, what are we supposed to make of this car? It's like it has a split personality. On the one hand, it's this practical-looking family SUV, but on the other, it's got a compromised interior and this wild performance car hiding inside. So who is this thing actually for? Yeah, it really is a balancing act. In the good column, you've got this insane power, a really premium feeling interior, and the fact that it's in a class of its own. But in the bad column, you have to deal with a third row that just doesn't work for adults and a suspension that's, well, a bit weird. So here's the bottom line, I think. You have to change how you look at it. If you go in expecting a true seven-seater, you're going to be disappointed. But if you think of it as a super spacious, incredibly fast five-seater that just happens to have 2 extra jump seats for kids or a quick trip, suddenly it starts to make a whole lot more sense. And that's really the question this car leaves you with, isn't it? Is all that class-leading power and performance enough to make you overlook a pretty major design flaw? It really forces you to decide what's more important in your family EV: space for everyone or speed that'll surprise everyone. And I guess that's a decision only the buyer can make.